And so he's at home, he's watching all these different game shows, and so Ben decides, oh, I'm gonna try out for one of these game shows, maybe make a little bit of money.
So instead of The Price is Right, he decides, oh, The Running Man, that sounds fun.
Well,
Doctor said I need to lose some weight.
yeah. Well, no, he actually makes a point, point to his wife and everybody else that like he doesn't want to do The Running Man. He'll do any other show but The Running Man. But then as soon as he goes through the tryouts, they see how like he's got this huge chip on his shoulder. He's pissed off all the time about everything, and so the network executive who's and his name is Dan Killian, he's played by Josh Brolin, Thanos. And of course, in the original version, the Schwarzenegger one, Killian is played by Richard Dawson, who's an actual game show host. And I will say probably the biggest thing in this movie that the biggest thing this movie is lacking that the original had was the whole integration of the television show and the host. You really don't get that at all with this movie. So once Ben gets into The Running Man, and he's in there with these two other people, and of course we learn later on that like all three of them fit like a different archetype. So if you've ever watched like reality TV show, everybody who's on that reality TV show is a personality type, and when they cast those reality shows, they always make sure to find people with those personality types. And it's basically the same thing here. You got one guy who's just like totally nonchalant and doesn't really care. He gets killed in the first couple of days, and then you got another kid. The other one is just kind of like living the high life and party hardy and everything, and then they get killed within like I think 10 days. Because that's the other thing too, is it lasts for 30 days, which I don't remember the original one being 30 days. I remember being like 3 days.
Yeah, if that long, because you were gonna die quick.
Right. Yeah. And of course the other aspect of it too, the thing that the original had that this movie doesn't was the hunters. Well, the hunters are in this movie, but they're not like they are in the Schwarzenegger version. Like the Schwarzenegger version, they're almost like video game villains.
Right. Like I remember I was comparing them to like comic book characters.
Yeah, and
wrestlers.
Yeah, and this one they're just like nondescript soldiers, except for the leader, who's the one guy in the poster wearing the mask with the sunglasses on, and you don't know anything about that guy. Like or you don't find out anything about him till the end of the movie, and then by the time you find out who he is, he's like, I don't care. And of course, like the other part of it too is Killian. It doesn't host the show. It's the guy in the tux on the poster. He's the host of the show, and it doesn't work because on the original you had like Killian talking to all the audience members, and they're like, oh, who do you think's gonna do this? And there was that satirical part of it, and this movie didn't have that. And it's the tone is very different. It's where like it's very dark.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a bit more like over serious.
It is, yeah. Which surprises me from an Edgar Wright movie, like because Edgar Wright's pretty like. I mean, this is the guy that did the Cornetto movies. I
was gonna say, Daniel, for people who don't know that name off the top of their heads.
Yeah, I mean, he did Shaun of the Dead, he did Hot Fuzz, and then did all did some really funny comedy like spoof movies, satirical spoof movies. Of course, then he did like Baby Driver, which was we didn't care for that movie. Right. It was all right, and then of course he was the original director on Ant-Man, but they fired him because they didn't like what he wanted to do. And then there was another movie he did that I watched that I didn't like, which was Last Night in Soho, which was a like feminist horror movie.
Wow, Daniel, you said so many words in a row that make me interested in a movie.
yeah. But but to get back to this movie, like it's overly serious, and it's like the main everything's focused on Ben Richards. Like it's mainly just him. Like at first he's like just trying to hide, basically. Like he realizes that like the only way for him to win this is to just like find some place to lay low and hide. And
which of course is bad television, so I imagine they aren't going to let him do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's a huge crux of it is, wherever he goes, they always, find a way to find him. And of course, and then he becomes this like revolutionary, folk hero, even though in his mind he's like, I'm just trying to make some money so that I can, give my family a better life. And it's just
You're making me immediately think of the life of Brian.
It is kind of like the life of Brian. only not funny. Man.
You're individuals. Think for yourselves. We're individuals.
We think for ourselves. Yeah, but yeah, I mean this and then the ending was so stupid. It was not earned at all. Like the ending just was terrible. Where they have this whole thing where like the whole third act is just completely rushed, and they have this whole thing on this plane, and where there's fighting and everything, and then Ben Richards, they actually offer him the network offers him his own TV show, and your family's gonna be set for life, and da da da. But he's like, no, man, I want to burn it all down, and da da da. And then it looks like the plane gets shot down, but like he somehow gets into the escape pod, because there's this other character in there who has this kind of like YouTube channel where he's like exposing the Running Man and everything, and so they kind of do this Deus Ex Machina where he pops in and says, oh, you don't see that, he got out in the escape pod, and and all this. It's just like, oh god, it's just
it just sounds kind of irritating.
It is, yeah. It's just I understand not one. I think I said this before. I don't know if I said this in the review or if I said it before the show. I can understand not wanting to do a 1-for-1 remake and trying to do something different, but this is not the way to do it.
Right. I mean, I kind of understand if Stephen, like, actually this keeps happening with Stephen King lately, doesn't it? Where like they'll have an original beloved version of one of his stories, and then he gets angry and tries to get it made to his style, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Like there was some horror movie that came out last year that was kind of in a similar boat, where it was a Stephen King novel that was like finally getting a remake or an adaptation after all these years, and it just bombed hideously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It was like 7 steps or something like that. 200 steps. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, and they did that with The Shining, where Stephen King famously hates The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick's version of it. So they did a TV movie about The Shining, like in the I think mid to late 90s, and I think it was okay. I've never watched it, but it was all right. But yeah, I cannot recommend this movie at all. Skip it. It's just don't watch it. To stick with the Schwarzenegger version.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, in most cases, that's usually the preferred advice for any movie, really.
Yeah.
If it originally had Schwarzenegger and it no longer has Schwarzenegger, stay home.
Yeah.
It's a handy little memory trip, or trick. I am tongue-tied tonight. It's a handy little memory trick. However, it's not a mnemonic.
Yes, Johnny Mnemonic.
So this one I picked out just because it's a name I had heard, but I honestly didn't know anything about it. This movie cover was all over rental stores when I was a child, so I saw it many times. I never knew what it was about. Also, it's just on Netflix at the moment, so I said, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I watched this movie in college, which was which would have been 20 years ago, and I remember seeing it popping up on TV every now and then. But yeah, this is a mid '90s cyberpunk sci-fi movie where Keanu Reeves plays the titular Johnny. Of course, the first of the first time Keanu Reeves played a character named Johnny in a cyberpunk dystopian story.
Yeah, let's see here. So this thing was written by Robert Longo. That's honestly not a name I'm immediately familiar with.
Yeah, and or directed by Robert Longo, and then
did I say written by? I meant directed by. Sorry.
That's sorry. Yeah, I've never heard of him either, but it was written by William Gibson, who wrote the short story that the movie is based on. And for those of you who don't know, William Gibson also wrote Neuromancer, which is like the prototypical archetypal cyberpunk story. It's got like all of the all the cliches and tropes that you see in a cyberpunk story really started with Neuromancer. And to a certain extent Blade Runner before it. But this movie, Johnny is basically a data courier. He has an implant in his head. Of course, the movie takes place in the distant future of 2021.
What 2021? You think in the year 2021 it's going to be a major U.S. city is going to be a horrible dystopian hellhole with international gangs running things? Come on,
come on, yeah.
As a disease ravages the earth. Come on,
yeah. And having video calls with people,
yeah, totally unrealistic.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so in this future world, the half the population suffers from a disease called NAS, or as they call it, the Black Shakes, and it's kind of like I guess this universe is sort of like AIDS or tuberculosis.
It kind of seemed like it was a more neurodegenerative disease.
Yeah. Well, I was with kind of AIDS, like just like the epidemic portion.
Okay,
yeah,
the society warping epidemic.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's a neurological. I can't remember what it all stood for, but yeah, but you're right. Yeah, it was a neurological condition, and Ghost in the Shell rips it off in Standalone Complex.
There's a lot of this movie where, as I was watching it, I'm thinking to myself, boy, a lot of anime and video games kind of owe this movie a check.
Yeah, including Cyberpunk 2077, because a weapon that is used in this movie is also in that game. But to get back to the movie, so Johnny, the plot, Johnny is a data courier, and so he stores information in an implant in his head, but it only holds 80 gigabytes.
I'll give the movie credit for something that came out in 1995, I think. Yeah, 95. It was kind of futuristic for them to mention gigabytes in an implant that small.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking like it only stores 80 megabytes of data.
Right, yeah. But it stores it has 80 gigabytes, and then he has like a like a double storage thing, which ups it to 160. But he's hired to transfer.
And part of the reason for this is that this is done is that it's a way to securely transport information without it being able to be intercepted. Because like if you try to just email it or whatever,
right,
rival corporate gangs could end up intercepting.
Right.
So that's why the system exists.
Yes, and of course the couriers don't see the data. They don't know what's in there, and they're given they have a passcode that they're given. And in Johnny's case, it's a series of 3 images from a television.
Yeah, from some anime.
Yeah, what kills me is they're faxing it off.
Yeah, they couldn't quite see the curve entirely. The other thing was we kind of forgot to mention Johnny's deal himself. He's been a courier for a while. He's actually an amnesiac, and he is trying to save up to get the treatment to recover his past.
Right. Yeah, and of course his agent, he talks to his agent. He's like, well, he needs like, I can't remember what it was, like $1 million or whatever currency it was, but yeah. So the other part of it too is that the data that he's got to transport is 320 gigabytes, and if he goes over his storage limit in the head, then he gets what's called data seepage, and then it starts to kill him. So he has to get it out, I think, in like 2 days.
Right. And like it is kind of funny when he checks in at this one airport. We have detected signs of brain leakage. Please report to the nearest hospital. And he just smiles politely and says, "Okay, thank you," and moves on with his day.
Yeah. But yeah. So of course a lot of people are after Johnny because of the data that he's carrying is very important, including the Yakuza, who are basically running this pharmaceutical company, because the people who used to work at the pharmaceutical company stole this data and gave it to him so that he could transfer it to the people who need it. And I don't know. I don't want to spoil what the data is, because you do find out what he's carrying in his head.
Right. It is actually very pivotal.
Yeah. And of course, along the way, he runs into some rather colorful characters, like Dina Meyer's character Jane, she's like a wannabe bodyguard who is suffering from the disease that's ravaging the world.
Right. They end up being unwilling travel partners.
Yeah, and for those of you, many of you will remember Dina Meyer's. Is it Myers or Meyer? Dina Meyer. Meyer. Yeah, Dina Meyer.
Meyer.
Yeah, she played Dizzy in Starship Troopers.
Oh, I thought she was familiar. Okay.
Yeah, and of course he also meets the leader of this resistance group, J-Bone, who's played by Ice-T.
Like he eventually became a better actor, but in this one, boy, is his delivery flat.
Yeah. Definitely reminiscent of his acting in New Jack City. But yeah, and then basically Johnny's got to figure out how to get the information out of his head before it kills him. And it's just basically this one long bad thing after another keeps happening. And so it's a decent enough cyberpunk sci-fi story. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, especially the third act. It gets a little ridiculous.
I mean, I often try to look for like thematic similarities between the movies we watch.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that features a scene where an unnatural ocean creature is kept in a tank.
Yeah.
Because like there's a cyborg dolphin that I'm pretty sure that it's helping with the hacking at one point.
Yeah.
Which is that is like the most 90s/80s thing ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, um, Another actor I want to mention real quick is the one the head of the Yakuza who pops in every now and then. He's played by Takeshi Kitano, who is also known as Beat Takeshi, and he's pretty well known in Japan. He actually he was a video game developer. Um, yeah, JonTron did a video about one of his games.
Oh, Takeshi's Challenge, right?
Yes, yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Huh.
He was also to go into another cyberpunk. He played Aramaki in the boss in the live action Ghost in the Shell, one with Scarlett Johansson.
Wow, I'd completely forgotten that movie was a thing, and I
The
was about
thing.
to ask. I was about to ask, like, wait, was that like a made in Japan one?
Yeah, when I saw that movie in the theater, I was the only one there.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I also say I'm pretty sure that dolphin was voiced by Frank Welker.
Oh, I'm sure he probably was. Yeah.
Because like I know how he sounds when he's making dolphin noises, thanks to watching Futurama commentary tracks. That really just like hearing him on there, like talk about all the animal voices he did, just like you realize just how much of what you think an animal sounds like if you grew up in the 90s is actually just like Frank Welker doing animal sounds.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, like I think I can get this thing like a bare recommend. The biggest thing is that because it's only 90 minutes long, it definitely does not outstay its welcome, which is always appreciated.
Yeah.
So like you can definitely get your fun out of it. I think also like actually I'd seen this like scene referenced before, so now I actually know what it's from. The whole "I want room service" thing is he's having a
legitimate crash out.
yes, because it's like he just wants to live a good just wants to improve his lot in life, and just all this awful stuff is happening to him.
Yeah.
Like I want to drive the nice car, and I want to have the 10,000 a night hooker, and I want room service, which I'd seen that out of context without the rest of it before. I was like, what the hell is that scene?
Yeah.
And now I know what the hell that scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll watch a movie that's just kind of average, and it'll be like, yeah, I guess we can sort of recommend it. This is more just like, if you don't really have anything else on your list to watch, then go ahead. You'll have fun.
Yeah, indeed. Yes. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Agreed.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We